In Trinidad and Tobago, we are affected by a number of climate change impacts. Very recently, we were affected by a pretty awful marine heat wave. So, rising sea temperatures is one of the first impacts that are affecting us very significantly right now, as well as sea level rise, biodiversity loss, ocean acidification. I can probably go on, but those are the ones that are really affecting coastal communities and persons that depend on coastal resources for their livelihoods. If I had to choose three words, I would say leverage, enable, and predict. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we see this program as a way to build our local capacity towards reducing our disaster risk and thereby directly increasing our resilience for coastal vulnerability and shocks. We see this program as a very direct way to improve local capacity, which will then help to inform and leverage our existing integrated coastal zone management policy. And so it really is just going to help us to make informed decisions towards managing the coastal zone and all of the resources and ecosystems therein. So I'm excited about quite a few things. But just to list a few things, I would say the downscaling of larger global and regional models for local islands or local scales, and that's really just for applicability for small islands like Trinidad and Tobago. I'm also very excited to see the interoperability and the multiple functionality and users that will come out of mixing EO and remote sensing with oceanography and coastal models. Very interested to see how that goes. Um, and really just, I guess, the solutions that emerge from having a number of persons in one room. I would say it really helps to understand our very significantly ranging geographic and socioeconomic contexts that exists in each of the pilot sites, because that helps to inform, the considerations that need to be made towards like the fabrication of the project structure, and even for understanding how do you best go about trying to achieve the objectives in a project, understanding the applications and the users. Sure. So my name is Nikia Gooding, and I am a remote sensing research officer. I work at the Institute of Marine Affairs in Trinidad and Tobago. We are located in the South Caribbean. Given my background, there are two things I would say. I would say, first of all, more persons from the tropical Atlantic and from the Caribbean need to be invited to these types of meetings. We need to have a seat at the table so our voices can be heard. We are particularly vulnerable to climatic shocks and for climate change impacts. And so improving our coastal resilience is almost imperative to survival and for livelihoods to be sustained, as well as just the preservation and conservation of our coastal and marine ecosystems for future generations. And then for my professional background, I would say EO, GIS, remote sensing, all cut from the same cloth. We can serve to fill a gap that definitely exists in this community. Even if it's through the simple things like data visualization of a number of different kinds of data sets, like quantitative coastal models and socioeconomic data through something that's really simple to digest and understand, like a map.